Chelsea 2, Qarabag 2, and man, a crazy first half, records broken, but ultimately quite a disappointing result for a Blues fan. Welcome, Blue Believers, to another episode of the Stamford Sync, where we are syncing up with everything Chelsea FC. And man, that was a disappointing one, wasn't it? That was a disappointing one. Our record against Qarabag up until today was 100%, and we scored 10 goals against them in our last 2 games. And we couldn't get the business done today, man. At the end of the day, it's a draw, not a loss. So I'll take a point over no points. Of course, there were lots of opportunities to win this game, and it shows in some respects where we're just still lacking a little bit, right? So we're going to get into the lineups, player performance, all of that fun stuff. But guys, if you are enjoying the content and would like to see more, please do me the distinct honor of liking and sharing the video, subscribe to the channel, or just roast me in the comments, whatever gets you through your day. So, at the gate, starting lineup, unusual. It was like 50-50, kind of what most of us expected it to be, and 50, like the other 50% was just lots of really odd choices. It kind of looks like, I'll get into it in a sec what it was, but it kind of looked like Maresca was like, I'm going to play like half a strong team in this game, and that made me think maybe he was thinking about doing something similar in Wolves, like give some first teamers opportunities and some part-timers B squad players, whatever you want to call them, some opportunities, and then maybe do something in the Wolves game, but that definitely is not how it worked out in this game. So, starting lineup, Sanchez in goal, yes. Apparently Philip Jorgensen was in contention for playing, and, I absolutely didn't want to see that. Probably would have been worse had Sanchez not have been there today, because truth be told, Sanchez did really, really well for the most part. Some really, really good saves. No bozo moments from him in particular. Right back, Reece James. I thought Malo Gusto might get the start, but no, I mean, it shows you were taking it seriously. You got your captain on the pitch for a big European match. Before I go any further into this, what the lineup does say for the large part is Maresca definitely respects Qarabag, and, for instance, we put out a much stronger team for Qarabag than we did for Ajax, and just off the top of your head, that's not necessarily how you thought it would have gone, but that was how it went. Marco Correa started at left back as well, so the two of the best fullbacks in the Premier League starting in this game. The centre-back pairing was unusual. It was Tosin Adarabioyo and Yoro Hato. So that was a bit of a strange one, man, because we've got, basically, other than Badiashile, all of our centre-backs are available. So I saw that, and instantly to me it said, okay, so Yoro Hato's more going to play that left centre-back sort of thing. It'll be Tosin in the middle, Reece James on the right, and Marco Correa is just going to be really, really, really advanced. And that's 100% how the game started, at least. But the formation and the style kind of changed quite a lot throughout the game. Midfield, I was bang on. It was Lavia and Andre Santos. Santos had a pretty good game. Like I said, I'll get more into player performances in a minute. Unfortunately, in the first, 5-10 minutes, Romeo Lavia pulled up injured, and he did not look happy about it, man. I haven't watched the post-match presser or anything like that yet, so I don't know the extent of the injury, but he pulled up, he sat down, and he was not looking happy at all. He was like hitting the floor, and and obviously he's only just started getting a recent run of games, and he's been looking pretty good for the most part, so it is a shame, and it does look like potentially we're going to be without Romeo Lavia again for a while. The attacking midfield 3, mostly expected. One surprise inclusion in this game in particular, Jamie getting started on the left, and we were all hoping to see another version of him like we saw against Wolves. Estevao started on the right, which all of us were very happy with, because he had an opportunity to break a South American record today, which he did, by the way. In the middle, I went for Buonanotte. João Pedro got the start in the middle, man, and I'm really, really surprised by that. Like I say, it just feels like it was this kind of half first 11, half B team sort of thing going on, which was unusual. And up top, Tyreek George gets the start again, which proved to be a bit of a damp squib. So like I say, man, for the, just for the whole lineup, the formation, it was all a little bit weird. Some of it says, okay, I'm respecting this team because I'm putting on Reece James and I'm putting on Marco Correa, and we're having our first team goalkeeper in goal. Do you know what I mean? But then playing João Pedro in the hole when he's not been amazing recently, and probably could have done with the rest. Buonanotte is obviously fresh and available. Putting Tyreek George up front, do you know what I mean? Like, and Yoro Hato in centre back instead of Josh Achiampong. What's Josh Achiampong got to do to get a game? What's going on with that? He was on the bench, so it's not an injury thing because he's available to play. But that's 2 games that he's missed now, man. 2 games that he's not been starting in at least. So a bit disappointing. It's all a bit crazy. Lavia getting injured really early in the game was a massive blow. Moises Caicedo came on, which is a good and a bad thing, because you want to see Moises Caicedo on because he's the best midfielder in the world, definitely in the Premier League at least. But at the same time, we all know that Moises Caicedo was dealing with injury worries, and he keeps on coming in to like bail us out of these games. You know what I mean? It was funny though. Literally, like one of the first things he did after being on was attempting one of his outrageous outside the box shots. It didn't quite come off, but it was good to see. So Estevao scored our first goal of the game, and it was a nice goal. Some really good play from Andre Santos, who got the assist for it as well. And all of a sudden, it was like, cool, pretty early in the game, not like as early as it has been in some of our other games, but, you know, reasonably early goal, put us in front, gives us the momentum, puts us on the front foot. Yeah, wicked. And with that, Estevao has now become the first under-19 South American to score in back-to-back Champions League games, which is big. Just a big deal, man. It's a big deal. Estevao breaking lots of records. And, you know, I'll talk about Estevao's performance a little bit in general. We'll kind of do like a bit of play performance stuff as we go. He looks really strong today, man. I use that word in particular because he was getting roughed up a little bit. Do you know what I mean? He was definitely holding his own. He doesn't look like a big lad. Do you know what I mean? But he really, really holds his own really well. And for an 18-year-old, like to score the goal, do you know what I mean? An 18-year-old scoring our first goal in the Champions League at this point is unbelievable. He's also now our actual top scorer for the entire season so far, all of the games. Estevao, an 18-year-old Estevao Willian, is the top scorer for Chelsea right now. So that is clearly going to bring back all of those questions, and I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of debates on YouTube and online and stuff about why isn't Estevao Willian starting more games. Estevao Willian had a good game, can't take anything away from him. And he played the full 90 as well. I do expect now for him to not start against Wolves, but at the end of the day, he came on and did the business today, man, and he looked threatening. A couple of little things that maybe he could have done a little bit better, like a few opportunities when he went for a shot, when there was a pass on and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, he was trying to take the game by the scruff of the neck, which we needed someone to do as we went down the line. So we conceded 2 goals in the first half, and we went into the end of the first half 2-1 down. The first goal was just scrappy, man. It was just scrappy. It was like, so Yoro Hato got in trouble a few times in this game, in the first half in particular. Now, there was some, I don't know, I don't want to be one of those guys, but there were lots of people slipping, man. There were lots of people slipping. Initially just Chelsea players, but later on in the game, I saw it with Qarabag players as well. Players were slipping all over the place. Yoro Hato was having a torrid time. He nearly got, he got done like twice, do you know what I mean? And, you know, he wasn't very good for the first goal. Tosin wasn't very good today in general, man, to be honest. A couple of moments where it was like good blocks and tackles and stuff, but then loads of little bozo moments and stuff throughout. So the centre-back pairing of Tosin and Yoro Hato maybe needs a little bit of work. And Yoro Hato in particular today had a stinky first half, man. A really, really stinky first half. So yeah, the first goal was just scrappy. The second one was a penalty. That was for a handball. Yeah, it was a handball, which was arguable, I guess, but they just gave it straight away. So we're 2-1 down as we go into the first half. This is Maresca's moment, because halftime and substitutions and game management has definitely been the constant, consistent kind of conversation that we've been having about Enzo Maresca and his own development as a manager. But he did, for the most part, what I think was the right thing. I was expecting Yoro Hato to come off because he was having a really terrible time there, man. He was getting pulled apart. And the commentators were also expecting to see him come off. So it was really unusual when we come out for the second half. And instead of any defensive changes, we didn't make any defensive changes in the entire game. Enzo Fernandez, Garnacho, and Liam Delap came on for Tyreek George, Andre Santos, which I thought was unusual because Andre Santos had a pretty good first half, and Jamie Gittins came off as well. And this, you know, a couple of these subs proved to, well, all of them, to be fair, proved to be 100% the right thing to do. We went from having like a strong defense and a pretty mid-looking attack sort of thing to all of a sudden like having most of our first teamers on. João Pedro, I'll just do João Pedro for a minute. He's, again, not as much of a passenger that he has been in some games, but he's still just looking off it, man. He's still just looking off it. Even for me, Buonanotte looked better than João Pedro. Buonanotte came on later in the game. Buonanotte looked better for me than João Pedro today. But yeah, the subs came on and made an impact. Enzo Fernandez was actually really good today. I saw a lot more from Enzo Fernandez than I usually do. I often accuse Enzo Fernandez of being a bit of a passenger in games, but he was really getting involved today. He was drifting wide. He was putting crosses in. He was driving forward. He was passing like, and towards the end of the game, 2 or 3 times trying to shoot, got pretty close a few times. Again, trying to take the game by the scruff of its neck. Did appreciate that, but unfortunately, nothing came off. Having Liam Delap back is wicked. Now, don't get me wrong, he didn't score, but we just look so much better with an actual striker up top, man. Do you know what I mean? After going through this, all of the start of this season with mostly Tyreek George and João Pedro, mate, just the team just looks like so much better when there's a big, Liam Delap's a big lad as well. Do you know what I mean? And one thing in particular, Reece James was putting these little pinpoint passes through the lines that Liam Delap just kept running onto. Absolutely love to see it. At the end of the day, I'm not going to lambast Liam Delap's performance because this is literally the longest he's played football in like the last 2 months. Do you know what I mean? He's going to be rusty. He's going to have to work his way back to match fitness and all of that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, man, like Liam Delap is going to start more games as long as he's fit. Do you know what I mean? Maybe he starts the Wolves game. I've already said I think the Mark Yu experiment is over, and Tyreek George, yes, okay, he's got potential there, but we need to be winning these games, man. We need to be winning these games. So I did enjoy seeing Liam Delap in the team, and it was just a breath of fresh air. Like, oh, look, an actual striker that does strikery stuff, right? And the other sub, Garnacho came on and got us the goal that made it a draw. And, Garnacho seems to do quite well arriving late, do you know what I mean? And being on the end of attacks and stuff. But this goal in particular was a little bit different. He took the ball up on the left and tried to pass it into Estevao, who looked like he was in a really good position. Defender got in the way of it. It came straight back to Garnacho. He took a shot. It went in. Lovely. Scenes, beautiful. Absolutely love to see it. Quick shout out to Qarabag's manager, by the way, who's been there for 17 years. Amazing. You never see anything like that anymore. So that was all of the highlights of the game, right? And the rest of the game was just a bit stodgy, man. The rest of the game was just a bit stodgy. Then, do you know what I will say? Again, shout out to Qarabag, man, because what it wasn't was low block and long throws. Like I've talked about this recently. Like the blueprint for frustrating Chelsea is put 10 men behind the ball and try long throws, and we just don't know what to do about it. To be fair, they did not do that at all. They came out, they attacked, they were aggressive. The possession stats was like 58% to us, and you kind of generally expect that with the Chelsea team. But when they had the ball, they were trying to make stuff happen, man. It wasn't just like counter-attacks and stuff. They were getting the ball deep and they were, working it upfield and fair play to them, man. They were, a really, really hard team to play against today. So is it good enough? No. Is it disappointing? Yes. Enzo Maresca definitely got work to do. Do you know what? I heard something in the commentary as well. Enzo Maresca's made like 85 changes this season, which is a league high at least. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure about all competitions in Champions League and stuff, but yeah, Enzo Maresca changes his team more than anyone else does. He's Claudio Ranieri 2.0, the tinkerer another Italian as well. The Italian tinkerers, they love it, don't they? I feel like the lack of consistency is something that's hurt us. It's difficult to blame that entirely on Maresca because of all the injury issues, but at the same time, like Josh Achampong's been playing really well and then misses all these games. It can't be an injury thing because he's on the bench. Lots of people are calling for Estevao to get more starts. We are constantly chopping and changing Garnacho and Jamie Gittins, and it's the midfield in Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. Yeah, sound. We've had like a million different centre back pairings though. Do you know what I mean? I do feel like we are, at this point in the season, we're at the point where you should sort of know who your best options are for these things now. I don't know if the plan is to just fill the squad full of players that are all exactly the same kind of level and you can deputise in whatever position depending on their strengths and how it suits the game that we're going into. But I am starting to feel like consistency is the problem, right? We don't have it. Do you know what I mean? We don't have it. Injuries have been a big part of that, but when injuries haven't been a part of it, vis-a-vis the centre-back situation we're in at the moment, we're still seeing different centre-back pairings every single game. Do you know what I mean? Every single game. And I would expect to see a different centre-back pairing for the Wolves game as well. I don't expect Tyson to start with Yoro Hato again. I expect probably Trevor Chalobah and Josh Achampong to start at this point. So really, really tough one, man. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's disappointing. Do you know what I mean? It's not a loss at the end of the day. We get the point. It would have been nice to have got the win. And, it's going to be, we would ideally like to be in the top 8 by the time that this part is probably not going to happen now. But by the time this part of the competition finishes, just because that means you don't have to play any more games and you automatically qualify for the next round. But if we finish like 8th to 16th or something like that, or even 24th, it's quite a lot. Then you've got more playoffs to do. Do you know what I mean? And what we don't need is more games. So if we could get into the top 8, that's going to help the team out a lot in general. So that's it, man. That's it. Yes, disappointing. No, not the best performance ever. Some positives to look at. Estevao going from strength to strength. An 18-year-old who isn't playing every game is our top goal scorer this season. Let that sink in for a second. Liam Delap's back. Hopefully, we can start seeing some of that consistency. And I don't know what's going on with the centre backs, man. I've got no idea. We'll find out against Wolves, I guess. But that's it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up there. I am going to be doing a watch along for the Wolves game. I will broadcast where I will be doing that. I'm hoping to do it on this channel. Now, me and Kai from Behind the Dugouts have figured out that we can broadcast to multiple channels at the same time. I'm hoping that any watch along I do in future, I will be able to broadcast to several channels. So come and hang out with me for that one. I'll be on the Blue Lounge Friday night, I'm pretty sure. Or it might be Sunday, actually. We might be doing a preview, and I think we're doing Sunday because it's quite a late game, isn't it, on Saturday against Wolves. So nice one. Lots of football stuff coming up, guys. Lots of big improvements and upgrades to the channel coming soon as well. I'm very, very, very excited. I can't wait to share it all with you. Nice one. Thanks for sticking around until the end of the video. If you did, if you want to chill out and watch some more Stamford Sync, then why not check out this video right here, which is after 10 games in the Premier League, what are the pros and cons of Chelsea's season so far? Nice one, guys. Hope you all have an absolutely wicked day. Take it easy. Peace.